Alfa Romeo. The name sounds like Italian excitement and beautiful cars, but how did it all start? Imagine Milan in 1910. A French car company, Darroch, opens a factory. Soon some businessmen from Milan take over. They name the new company Alfa, Anonima Lombarda Fabbrica Automobili. A long name, huh? Their first car, the 24GP, was a big deal. Powerful, sporty and elegant, it showed what Alfa Romeo was all about. The company became known for making cars that were as beautiful as they were fast. But when Romeo joined in 1915, everything changed. He was an engineer with big ideas, and he knew Alfa could be something amazing. Romeo led the company through the tough war years. When peace came, Alfa was ready to race. The first car called Alfa Romeo was the Torpedo 20 to 30 GP. It came out in 1921, and it was a sign of great things to come. Then came the RL. This powerful car won Alfa its first big race at the Targa Florio in 1923. The RL wasn't just strong, it was also really stylish. Its long, smooth shape and elegant look influenced Alfa Romeo designs for many years. Alfa was becoming famous. The company attracted the best engineers and drivers. The cars they built became known for speed, style, and being special. Alfa Romeo and racing, they go together. Right from the start, racing was part of Alfa. The 1920s and 30s were a great time for Alfa on the racetrack. They won lots of races like the Targa Florio, the Mille Miglia and the 24 Hours of Le Mans. Cars like the P2 and the 8C were famous. These weren't just fast cars, they were like art you could drive. Alfa's racing wasn't just about winning, it was about showing how well their cars performed. What they learned on the track, they used to make their road cars even better. After the war, Alfa Romeo started making more cars, not just a few by hand, but they always remembered what made them special. The 1900, which came out in 1950, was Alfa's first car with a single-piece body. This made it lighter and stronger. It was also Alfa's first attempt at making lots of cars. But the Giulietta from 1954 was the car everyone loved. This stylish coupe and convertible became a classic right away. It was small, quick and not too expensive, making it a big hit for Alfa Romeo. During the 1960s and 70s, Alfa kept making new things. They introduced new models like the Giulia, the Spider Duetto and the Montreal. These cars made Alfa famous for building cars that were beautiful and fun to drive. Alfa Romeo has always been known for its special designs. From the smooth shapes of the older cars to the sharp lines of the newer ones, Alfa Romeos always look different on the road. One important part of Alfa Romeo design is the Scudetto grille. This triangle-shaped grille with the Alfa Romeo badge in the middle is one of the most famous symbols in the car world. Alfa has also always tried new things. They were one of the first to use aluminum in their engines, and they were early users of turbocharging and direct injection. This mix of great design and new technology has made Alfa Romeo one of the most wanted car brands in the world. Over the years, some of the best race car drivers have driven for Alfa Romeo. Drivers like Tazio Nuvolari, Juan Manuel Fangio and Niki Lauda have all raced Alfa Romeos and done amazing things. Nuvolari, known as the Flying Mantuan, was a legend. He won the 1930 Mille Miglia for Alfa Romeo in a super exciting finish. Fangio, one of the greatest drivers ever, won 2 of his 5 Formula One championships driving for Alfa Romeo in the early 1950s. These famous drivers and many others helped make Alfa Romeo a big name in racing. There's something special about an Alfa Romeo. It's not just about driving, it's a feeling, an emotion. Owning an Alfa Romeo is like being part of a club. It's about the passion that goes into making these cars. It's about the history, the tradition, and the racing. It's about how an Alfa Romeo makes you feel when you drive it, the way it reacts when you steer, the way it makes you feel close to the road, the way it makes you feel excited. That's the magic of Alfa Romeo. Today, Alfa Romeo is still doing great. They're still making cars that are beautiful, exciting, and fun to drive. Cars like the Giulia and the Stelvio are keeping the brand strong. They offer a mix of performance, style, and technology that's hard to find anywhere else. Alfa Romeo is also thinking about the future of cars. They're working on hybrid and electric cars that are good for the environment and fun to drive. The Tonale, Alfa Romeo's first plug-in hybrid, shows what's coming. It has all the style and performance you expect from an Alfa Romeo, plus electric power. Alfa Romeo has a long and interesting history. There have been good times and bad times, but they've always stuck to what's important: performance, style and passion. The future looks good for Alfa Romeo. They're focused on design and new ideas, and they want to be good for the planet. Alfa Romeo is ready to keep making amazing cars for many years. The Biccione, the snake on the Alfa Romeo badge, is ready to strike again. We can't wait to see what they do next.